Hi guys, this is Toys About the Xbox here, and I don't even need to explain Windows XP, as it's one of the most known Windows versions. So, for my Christmas special, I'm going to talk about every single edition of Windows XP released. Just note that I will not include any service packs, as they are just mainly incremental updates to the OS. With that out of the way, let's begin. Let's start off with the retail versions of Windows XP, Home and Pro, which are both still part of Windows today. The next edition of XP was made after Microsoft was funded by the European Commission in March 2004 and owed them 497 million euros. And on top of that, they ordered Microsoft to make a version of Windows without Media Player, which led to Edition N, which is our first version, standing for Not with Media Player. If you've installed Windows 10 or 11 using the ISO from the Media Creation Toolkit, you might know it as it appears in the installer and acts fairly the same to the XP N. That means no Media Player. A similar thing happened in December 2005 when the Korean Fair Trade Commission ordered Microsoft to make Windows without Media Player and without Windows Messenger, which led to K and KN being released in August 2006. Instead of containing Media Player or Messenger, they contain third-party links to those programs, which are third-party. There are also a couple more additions under the Home and Pro category, one of which being ULC-PC, standing for Ultra Low Personal Computer, made with some low-cost netbooks. And then we have the Professional Blade PC edition, pre-installed OEM solutions using the Blade PC hardware. The next big edition of XP was Starter Edition, sold in developing markets as a lower-cost version of XP. The default wallpaper was a place of the country sold in it, and had a couple of limitations, such as only 3 programs being run at a time, and 3 windows open each program. A max screen resolution of 24 by 768 and no network grouping domains, and also had some max hardware requirements by being only licensed for Intel Celeron or AMD's Duron and Sempron processors, 512 megabytes of RAM, and 120GB disk size. Over 1 million units were sold but wasn't very successful due to pirated versions that were in the market. Originally codenamed Freestyle, was the next version of XP as Media Center Edition. This version included a large font for large displays, a remotely accessible interface, TV viewing and recording, TV guide, DVD music and video playback, photo viewing, and a Royale visual style. This version was released 3 more times as Media Center Edition 2004, Media Center Edition 2005, and the update roll-up 2 for Media Center Edition 2005. Media Center Edition also required a slightly better PC to run in 1.6 GHz processor, DirectX 9.0 hardware accelerated GPU, and 256 megabytes of RAM. Another version which was not sold separately was Windows XP Tablet PC Edition, released for notebook laptops with ink capabilities. This version was re-released once as Tablet PC Edition 2005, which included Service Pack 2. It also included some components such as Tablet PC Input Panel, Windows Journal, Sticky Notes, the Royale theme, which is renamed to Energy Blue, and Inkball, included in Vista. There were also 2 downloadable packs released by Microsoft, those being the Experience Pack and Educational Pack. Now to 64-bit releases, which the first known 64-bit release of Windows XP 64 is Windows XP 64-bit edition, designed for the Intel Itanium processor family. Just like the last two editions, this one was re-released as Windows XP 64-bit edition 2003. It's also noteworthy that older technologies that like NTVDM, DAO, Jet Database, and Windows on Windows are no longer present, so no DOS or 16-bit program support. This edition was discontinued in January 2005 and then ended support later that year in July. After XP 64-bit edition was discontinued, Microsoft released Windows XP Professional x64 edition, which is overall similar to 64-bit Windows today. Now, yes, I know I said I'm not including service packs, but XP Pro was one of the few editions that got them instead of a re-release, overall getting 2 service packs. And as a fun fact, 64-bit releases of Windows Vista mistakenly recognized the Windows XP Professional x64 edition as the original XP 32-bit edition, and then required a clean install. The next OS released under the XP codebase was Windows Server 2003, which I guess qualifies for this video. Windows Server 2003 was the start of a new Windows series which still lasts today. This version was released under a couple of editions, those being Web, Standard, Enterprise, and Data Center. This was eventually succeeded by Windows Server 2008 based on Vista. The final group of Windows XP editions is the embedded releases, first of which being Windows XP Embedded, released for embedded machines like cash registers. This version was re-released as Embedded Standard 2009 and then succeeded by Windows Embedded Standard 7 based on Windows 7. The next version of XP Embedded is Windows Fundamentals for Legacy PCs, and is released for very low-end PCs and is now available to software assurance customers who cannot afford new hardware. Just like Windows Embedded Standard, Windows Fundamentals for Legacy PCs was succeeded by Windows Thin PC, also based on Windows 7. The final edition of this video is Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009, also succeeded by a Windows 7 based release, this time being Windows Embedded POS Ready 7. This version was intended for point-of-sale machines and is also not available for purchase. This version was discussed around 2014 when Windows XP ended support, because people said that applying a registry tweak could give you 5 more years of support until 2019 by tricking Windows updates and thinking you are running Embedded POS Ready 2009. That was a couple of versions. In total, I talked about 15 different versions of Windows XP, and only 9 of them were made public by retail CDs or fitted with OEM machines. Anyway, we have reached the end of the video, so if you like it, like and subscribe and click the notification bell to never miss a video. Merry Christmas, or no if it isn't, and goodbye!